Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of Kaos's Corner. Today we have a very special guest, the lyrical, miracle, spiritual individual himself, Divide Music.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, man. I don't know if I like that title because I feel like I'm going to lose it in, the next episode. Probably, within the next, first 5 minutes, I'll probably lose it.
I spent a solid 5 minutes thinking about how I'm going to introduce you to the podcast, so I was like, okay, I could do the lyrical, spiritual, musical individual.
At least while the title is still being held.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Fable was not that difficult of an opponent.
Well, to be fair, I think if it was anybody else, I would have lost. Because me and Nick talked about that beforehand. We were both just he's like, I think you're gonna win because if you rap, you obviously have a lot more lyrics. But then the problem is that with my style, some of my stuff doesn't tend to be really so on the nose. So if it's a little too vague of a reference to something, then I have a hard time pinning what exactly that it's from. But yeah, so I only won by the skin of my teeth. I didn't. It was pretty even. We both seem to forget quite a bit of our stuff, and it's hard too when someone reads it to you without the inflections or anything. They just read the words out loud.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So I usually ask the people that I have on to describe their channel and what they do, but I'm sure the majority of the people coming to this podcast are gonna know who you are. So I don't know if you want to just briefly describe what your channel is about for the one person that comes across it that goes, I don't know who Divide Music is, but just briefly describe what you do on YouTube and your content.
So my name is Divide Music on YouTube. I create original music that is inspired by anime primarily, but I started with video games back in 2017, but now it's for almost a year it's been just anime. I've kind of found my thing, so yeah.
Dope. that's how I would describe your channel. So yeah. So you started out, I noticed back you started doing video game stuff, and now it's more anime. And that's kind of been the direction that a lot of channels have been seeming to go these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just seems that just what takes off. I don't know. I think a lot of artists have said that the anime stuff takes off more than the video game stuff.
I think it depends with your position, because if you look at someone like JT Music, they've really built something that is centered for video games. So doing anime would be so just left field for their audience and their brand. Whereas for a lot of people, I think the hardest thing about doing video games that you'll hear a lot of people say that have been doing it for a while is that, you make a song about Red Dead Redemption, that person's not necessarily going to care if you make a song about, I don't know, Call of Duty. You know what I mean? It's just, there's so many variances in the audiences. So a lot of the time when I was doing video games, I would have stuff really not do well, but then other stuff do well. But you can't make so many songs about a game, whereas you can expand on an anime, obviously, with characters and arcs and all that kind of stuff. So for me, I was really happy that happened, because it allows me to be more creative. I felt like when I did video games, it was pretty restrictive on what I could do lyrically, whereas I'm dealing with, even though they're animated characters, anime delves so much into the story of that character and explains so much about them that you can easily pull from that and write a song to be inspired by that, rather than trying to I've written 2 songs about Call of Duty, and for me it's just not fulfilling, because I don't rap, which I feel like if you're rapping, you could say a lot more about being a badass. Whereas if you're singing, there's only so much you can say after enough FPS songs about shooting people and being a badass.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, you're kind of restricted if you don't rap. So I never really enjoyed it that much when it came to a lot of that stuff. But when it came to the stuff like Red Dead or Subnautica or Warframe, stuff like that. Like it was just so much more interesting because there was a lot of story involved. So yeah.
That's just interesting. I know, I see that too, like with games, like especially like it just seems like, yeah, there is a lot you could say about just shooting people. Like I mean, like Call of Duty is very similar to, like, if you were to go like was it Battlefield? Call of Duty Battlefield,
yeah.
Like they're very similar. There's only so many bars or like lyrics you could write, where you'd just be having to recycle old ones.
Exactly. I know Fable, Nick, he likes to make the joke that whenever he does a Fortnite rap, he knows he's gonna have to have a Boogie Bomb line in there because it's just like
Boogie
part
Bomb,
of
the Boogie Bomb and Chug.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's just difficult to write about the same. I honestly find it to be a talent of its own, especially like using Fable as an example. He writes like for the seasons that drop, and he obviously bases it off the theme, because from what I understand, each season has like a theme that's affecting the game, if it's like in, I don't know, space or whatever. And so he kind of bases it on that. But yeah, it's like, how different can your lyrics change? So I tip my hat to him, because I couldn't do that. I don't know how you could say the same thing differently so many times, but he does it. So
me neither. I don't know. Every song is like, there's similar like bars, but each Fortnite song is different than the last. It's so.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how he does it, but I enjoy every single one. I used to play, but I don't anymore, but I still enjoy the songs.
For sure. Yeah. No, he, well, I think for him too, it's all about the chorus for those. Like the choruses are always top notch, obviously. So the bars are more of just like hype, and then you get to like the big thing, which is always like, he takes so much time to get the chorus as perfectly written as possible. So yeah, I like I said, I tip my hat to that. And I think JT as well, like they've made countless songs on like Call of Duty and Battlefield, and there's just so much more you can say when you rap. So it makes it I think it just makes it more enjoyable in that sense. So
yeah. So all right, I have on here asking, like, why did you start your channel? Like, ooh, what made you want to do this, like, nerdcore music about video games and anime and nerdy stuff?
So it all started back in September of 2017, where I need to just keep calling him Fable. I call him Nick, but I'll call him Fable for people listening so it doesn't get confusing. So Fable had started his channel in April 2016, and he had started with all the Pokemon Go and like kind of testing it out, and he didn't even really know what nerdcore was. He kind of stumbled upon it. But I've been doing music for, I don't know, since like high school. I started playing guitar and stuff like that, so I've like been in bands and whatnot, but I never really did anything with music until he started his channel. And he said to me, he's like, you should try it. And I think most people's reaction when they are told what nerdcore is, it's kind of like why would you make a song about a video game? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of confusing. And I kind of had that reaction. I was like, I just don't know what I could write like a song about like that. He's like, but he explained it to me. He's like, dude, you could do whatever you want. Like, you could have a rock song, you could have a pop song, and just have it be themed. So I gave it a shot, and I never looked back. That's pretty much what it is. He was the one that got me to start. And before, yeah, like I said, before that, I was always just doing random things. I'd write like half a song. I'd never post it anywhere, you know. So it really wasn't until YouTube that I started taking songwriting and mixing seriously, and actually found a huge passion specifically for production and mixing and stuff like that. So yeah, that was me. October 1st, 2017 was my first video that I posted.
That's cool. it was all because of Fable. No, I was kidding.
It quite literally is, actually. That's what's so funny. He's like, dude, just do it. And he's told me so many times, because I would always get distracted with stuff. Like, I would want to do something else. I could never like stick to one thing. And so he didn't think I would actually like keep doing it. And I don't blame him, because I didn't really know if I would either. But I did. And I'm here, and I get to call it a job. So it's pretty cool.
So was Divide Music what was the origin of Divide Music? Like the name Divide. Like, okay, I guess the music part on the other side is probably more like a brand thing.
Yeah.
Because I think, did you just go by Divide at one point and then you had to switch it?
I did.
Put them.
Yeah, I so my handle on a lot of things was either Divinity or Divide, and Divide was literally just a handle that I've had since like late middle school, like PC games, like playing on Steam and stuff like that. Like, it's just been a name. And yeah, when I started and I sat there, I was just like, I'm not going to sit here and try and think of a cool name. I'll just go by the handle I've always gone by. So I started as Divide, but obviously Divide is not the most, I don't know, it doesn't stick out among the crowd if it's just Divide, unless you're able to cultivate like a huge audience already. So then I wanted to add music at the end to kind of give me that separation. But the funny thing was Ed Sheeran came out with his album Divide when I started, and my logo colors was the same color as his album. And I remember Rocket Gaming one time reached out to me. They're like, hey, just so you know, you should probably change that.
Well, that was good of them to let you know that.
Yeah, but I already kind of knew. I was like, I know, because when you search Divide, it shows right next to me. It shows like his, because at the time, you know, with him promoting the album, he changed his YouTube image to the thing that said Divide, and it was like blue and black, and my old symbol was blue and black, so it was just like, goddamn. But yeah, it's really nothing special, as much as I'd like it to be. It kind of is just an old gaming handle, really. Oh.
But like that logo though, I think I've said this many times in reaction videos. I love your logo. What was the inspiration behind that logo, and like why is it done the way it's done? I know it's kind of like dividing the two sides. I got that when I first saw it. I was like, that's clever. But
yeah, well, I can't take all the credit. I reached out to Michael Rush, who actually does all of Fable's artwork that you've seen probably, that he uses on Spotify. So yeah, this guy is super talented. He actually, I think Fable got him through JT, because I think he does all of JT stuff as well. But I had the same logo for so long, and so I reached out to him, and he's like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, I don't know. It was honestly all his idea. I was like, something with like I don't want to rip Fable, but I really love the idea of like a helmet and all this stuff. And he's like, what if we did this? And he pretty much just had the idea, and then he sent it to me, like a couple different variations of it, and I ended up picking the one that you see now. But it just is representing two sides, like a more exposed evil side and the protected like good side almost. And I felt like it was representative of like my style, because as you know, it changes constantly. I feel like there's two sides to Divide music. So I think a lot of people love like the emotional stuff, but then I also have the people that really like the more high energy, like more aggressive stuff. So yeah, I kind of I guess I made that definition with his help for the name Divide Music in the end.
Yeah, and even like the one you have, I guess is your like profile picture, not the one with the sword in the middle, but the one you have, like the one I can see here on like, you know, this Discord call, it kind of reminds me a little bit like of Alphonse from from Full Metal Alchemist. Because when I first saw that, I was like, is that supposed to like look a little similar to Alphonse a little bit, or was that unintentional?
Oh no, yeah, 100%. He asked me what my favorite anime was, and I told him Full Metal Alchemist, and so he had the idea. He's like, Alphonse's helmet, like in that style, and I was like, I would love that. And yeah, that's how that was made. And truth be told, my picture on my YouTube channel is just the helmet now, and the only reason why I changed it, and I'm really bummed that this is why, but with the sword and the demon side, it looks really, it doesn't like look like you could distinguish what it is from a distance, because it's just, there's so much going on in such a small space, and it was really bugging me. And there's nothing that you could do about it, because there's just, you got like a big sword in the middle, you got two sides of a face. It's such a small place for a picture. So then I ended up taking when he sent me like the Photoshop files originally, I took that one half of the helmet and just like duplicated it and flipped it and then like welded it together and then created that as like what it is. But then I wanted to keep my original logo, which is like more of the Divide Music logo, and so that's why I have it as like my banner. But yeah, that was the one bummer about that, is I wish it would fit enough to where you could really see what it is without knowing who I am. Because I felt like if you're a new person trying to find music and you see that, your eyes would skim over it because it looks confusing. Like you can't just be like, oh, that's a cool looking Alphonse helmet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was kind of that, but yeah, he killed it though. I loved it. I loved the logo so much.
I mean, I do too. I think I've said it. I don't know how many reaction videos I've said that I love the logo. I feel like I'm just like a broken record. I'm just like, every time it pops up on screen, I'm just like, that logo is like badass.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, he did such a great job. He's super talented. He did that in like a couple days, I think. Like, it didn't take him very long.
That's impressive.
I mean, he does all of Fable stuff in like a couple days, I think. Like, he's just super talented.
All right, so I do have I feel like I don't want this series to be an interview series, but like whenever I have somebody new on, like I got a lot of questions to ask. I ask people what their inspirations are, like what artists inspire the sound of your music. Well, you know, it could be in nerdcore or like outside of nerdcore.
Ooh, that's a good question. If people could see what I'm listening to currently all the time, I feel like they'd be like, oh, I see what inspired this. I generally get inspired by whatever I'm listening to. So like a lot of like older inspiration comes from bands like Metallica, and like, cause they're the reason why I started playing guitar and like getting into music at all. So they're like a huge inspiration in that sense, just over the years. But for me, it's all about songwriting now. It's not so much about the riffage or like playing as fast as I can, like it used to be back in the day. But I would say for me, like the biggest inspirations now would be Bring Me the Horizon, Falling in Reverse. There's this new band I found recently. Well, they're not a new band, but new to me, called Slaves, that I really like. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was another one. But the thing is with those bands, like they're generally a bit heavier, but they also have, what I love is they have a lot of pop elements in them as well. So like they've really kind of molded the sound that I love into, like, I feel like I'm getting closer every day to like, that's what I would love to be able to do, but like my own way. And so they just have a really amazing way of being one thing one second and being something completely different the next, where they're like metal and then they're like pop, and it's just they do it flawlessly. So I think for me, as the state of where Divide Music is at right now, I would say like that's definitely what's inspiring for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I listen to those bands too, or at least some of them, and I feel like that like the inspiration for that, for your more heavier songs with like the kind of more like screaming of aggressive vocals. Mm-hmm. That's where that would be shown through. And like I personally, I'm like, I like rap, but I'm more of a metalhead. So like when that happens, I'm just like, all right, let's go. let's rock out.
Yeah.
I feel like my headphones are gonna fall off my head a few times, headbang into your songs on reactions. I'm like, you know, one of these days I'm just gonna let it happen, and then just like, if it happens, it happens. Just go back.
just keep going and act like you didn't notice they fell off.
Yeah, just like.
That's awesome, and thank you. I try to ensue a little bit of a headbang from time to time.
I think there was one time I sat down because like I watch anime in dub, so I was waiting a while for the end of My Hero, the end of the My Hero season, so I couldn't listen to like your Endeavor song and also like, you know, all the Endeavor songs. So I sat down in the same sitting, my mistake, listening to yours and Daddy Fat Snaps at the same time, and my neck was sore afterwards, because I'm like, I started out with Daddy Fat Snaps recording that, and then I'm like, okay, we're gonna get ready to record another one, and then I recorded yours, and then afterwards I could feel my neck, and then like the next couple days I was like, I should not have done both of them back to back like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That Endeavor song was that's a pretty high energy one, and I know that Daddy Fast Snaps killed it as well. Yeah, I could imagine some pain.
I'm just like, I could have spaced those out a bit more, but I was so excited to finally listen to them because they released the last few episodes in dub, and I watched them, and I was like, okay, let's go. I'm like, I'm missing out on a Divide Music song. Let's go. I'm missing out on all these other songs like Daddy Fast Snaps. I still have yet to check out. I want to react to them, but I feel like I shouldn't pressure myself. The Game Boy Jones, I think Dizzy 8 also put one out, but I'm so behind on reactions.
They did, yeah.
So I don't know if I'll react to them. It's not anything like I want to, but I just have so much things on my plate right now that I might just check them out just because I don't want to wait any longer.
Right. No, for sure, dude. Because I started doing reactions, as you may have seen, and I thought it would be a fun, easy thing to do, and it is, but it's not at the same time. So I can totally understand. You have to have a good amount of energy to go through it, because you obviously don't want to sit there if you're super tired and not show how it's actually affecting you if you were in a good spot to react. I feel like you have to be in the right space to react, at least for me. So I can understand why you wouldn't just be doing that all day.
Yeah, it's hard. I think I recorded 6 in one sitting once, and I was like, never again.
Oh,
never again.
Oh man.
Because by the last one, I could tell that I was like, okay, my energy's it's gone.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Because even though the song could be really good, you gotta have that. You have to be kind of pumped for it. So yeah, if you've listened to 5 other hype songs before it, it's going to appear less hype maybe to you because you've been sitting there for so long just listening to music. So yeah, I try and space them out myself.
I think the one reaction, going to your reaction videos, the one that I keep thinking of all the time is that section in your reaction to what was it? I think it's Fable's Vegeta one, where it goes where you're and you do that little camera effect on your reaction video, and it just made me laugh so hard.
Wait, I'm trying to think of what you're referring to.
It's that little build-up section to the first.
You're talking about how he transitions into his chorus?
Yeah, you do that little...
No.
Yeah, you do that little, you tried to kind of do it with your voice, and there was you do a tilt of the camera with your reaction video, and it just made me laugh. I was and the sound you made trying to imitate what Fable was doing, in his instrumental build up to the chorus. I was like, I keep thinking about it. Every time I listen to that song, I always sing that when that part comes. I'm like, little, and I'm just I don't know why, but before that, I was like, okay, this is a cool song, and I just hyped out. But now it's more of when that part comes up, I almost chuckle a little bit because it just makes me think of your reaction. So I guess, that's one of my favorite reactions that you've done.
Thank you.
Probably just because it's the one I can remember the most.
Yeah, I've never even thought of that or considered that watching a reaction to a song that you love. You could be something could be imprinted on you forever, and you'll always think of that. I've never even thought of that as a possibility to watching a reaction before. So that's kind of funny that you think of that every time you listen to the song.
I don't know if Fable's gonna be upset about that or not, but I do like the song. Vegeta's my favorite Dragon Ball character, so
very nice.
That song when it came out, when I saw that he was doing it, I'm like, Fable, Vegeta, I gotta check this out. And then I was not I was not disappointed. I in fact, if my jaw could drop to the floor, it probably would have, because it was so good.
Yeah. He killed it. He killed the trio, the Broly, Vegeta, and Goku tracks. They were all awesome. He did such a good job on those.
All right, so I have I don't know how much of this you'll be able to think of in the moment, but I was gonna ask, what's the average day for Divide music? What's the average day for you, your music process, kind of how do you go about every day when you work on music?
So specifically when I work on music, or just in general what I do all day?
I mean, you could do what happens in a general day, or on the days you just specifically work on music. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Since I've been able to do this full time, I'm still in this transitional period. It's funny because of the whole mess that the world's in right now. I was kind of forced into it, but it all kind of worked out anyways. So I've been in this like working from home situation for a while now, but I'm still, I wish I had more of a schedule, because like I'll stay up till, like at first it was bad. I was staying up till like 4 or 5 in the morning sometimes. And, but now I try and go to bed like 1 in the morning. But generally, let's see, generally I open my eyes at 7 o'clock and then I close them again. And then I open them at 9 and I get out of bed. I make a cup of tea. Because I live in England, I sit on my recliner and I watch a little bit of telly. And once I feel up for it, I brush my teeth and I come upstairs and I either will continue working on what I started or I'll start something fresh. And a lot of the time when it comes to what is going to inspire whatever I'm going to do, it honestly will either vary on if there's already a character I wanted to do or if there's a style of music I want to do. So I started working on, well, it's funny. So my song for this week is for Mario. And I somehow finished it in like 2 days. I don't know how it's possible. It was just a magical thing that happened. So I already had started working on my next track today. And I had this instrumental intro. Like it was literally 10 seconds. And it was just a chord progression and a vocal line that I had recorded as like a scratch take because I had an idea. And I accidentally left one of my plug-in amps for my guitar on my voice. And it actually inspired this whole idea. So now that's going to be for Rock Lee from Naruto. It's just really random. But I was listening to it and I was like, what character? Because like I said, sometimes I'll start to write an instrumental that I'm in love with. And I don't want to stop just because it doesn't fit a character. I would rather assign it to something that I think would work really well for that character. So I kind of thought about it all through last night and this morning. And upon thinking about it, I was like, this could work really well for him. So that's what I'll be working on, and that'll come out the following week. But yeah, I mean, in my process, generally, it will start from, it'll either start from guitar, piano, or a synth, like my Fire Force song. Like what you hear at the beginning is what started the whole thing. So, and I just had found that synth, or that sample synth line or whatever in one of my plugins, and yeah, and then that like kind of inspired the rest of the song. So my process is honestly never really the same. Though I did talk to Daddy Fatsnaps, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he was asking me about how I start a song, and I told him I always start from the beginning and just go through the whole thing. And he found that really interesting because he starts at the biggest part of the song. Like he'll start with the chorus and then work backwards, which I thought was really interesting. But yeah, for me, I don't really have a set system. It kind of depends on the mood and what the character is and what I'm inspired by at the time. So it kind of changes week by week, honestly.
Well, I'm just going to do a little, like, hurrah, because I can react to those, because I actually know those characters. Like,
yeah,
there are some, so, like, I don't know, getting sidetracked to, like, reactions and stuff. Like, my viewers, I guess I should say fans, I guess, it's weird to say that, want me to react to certain songs, and I go, either I've already seen it because it's an older song, or, like, I've already listened to it because it's older before I did reactions, or it's from something I know nothing about, so, like, my reaction would just be, like, dope song. So like
right,
I feel bad, I feel a little bad when I can't react to something, but I'm just like, I don't, you know, if I don't know it, you know, I don't know it, and I don't want to be like,
for sure,
one thing is like spoilers, and two, I want to know what I'm talking about, because I feel like if you're reacting to something, you should at least know a little bit of what's going on.
Oh, see, I have the complete opposite approach.
You're just like, I'm gonna react to something like the Fortnite songs, knowing nothing about them.
Exactly. Well, like for example, I reacted to Rustage's Soma rap for Food Wars. I reacted to Daddy Fatsnap's Beerus track, his Frieza track. I don't know much of anything about Dragon Ball other than like a lot of the popular characters. I've only seen the Broly movie, so that's why that Broly song exists. It's because I saw that movie. I never grew up watching Dragon Ball. But for me, it's more about the song. And I know I'm not taking that away from like you not enjoying the song, because obviously you enjoy the music and you enjoy the references and like what it's inspired by. But I just love listening to everyone's music. So for me, I approach it where if I already know the anime, I get to enjoy it more. If I don't, I just get to enjoy their music. So that's what's kind of a bummer, because I've had comments where they're like, he didn't react to this specific punchline, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I only just started watching anime last year, so I'm still a baby when it comes to every anime that exists, you know?
I think if I did do that, I would have to like preface the reaction with like, I've never seen this anime, or I've seen very little of it, and so I'm just gonna react to the song and not the references within it. And I feel like that might, clear some things up. But there's always gonna be that asshole in the comments that's gonna go, you didn't react to this, like, you paused, stop pausing.
I actually, okay, so two things. First thing, I always will preface that before I react. I'll be like, I've never seen this anime, so I won't get any of the references. I mean, when I reacted to his JoJo song, I didn't even know how to pronounce the name, like Zawardo or whatever, and people in the comments were making fun of me. But I actually haven't had stop pausing yet. I see Game Boy post that a lot. People are like, stop pausing, they get all mad. I have not had that yet, so we'll see when that happens. I'll let you know.
I had that once, but I think
really?
in the video I said don't say that, so I think they were just trying to be a funny troll.
Oh, troll.
They're trying to be funny.
Yeah.
They weren't meaning it like actually meaning it. They were just like, we're just gonna say this because he said don't say it.
Right. For sure.
So this is one of the questions that I'm gonna ask because I'm the most interested in this one. I have this, like, what song took you the most amount of time to like finish, and what song took you the least amount of time to finish, and like how long for each of those?
Oh my gosh. Let me think. I guess I would, like, fresh off my mind, I would say Mirio took the least amount of time. But that was purely because I was able to be inspired the whole way through. Like, I never really had a moment where I had to think about what to do next. Because, like I said, that probably took a total of... Oh, man, if I put it into hours, probably a total of, like, 9 hours. And then the longest one, probably... I would have to probably just say my One Piece song, because it is my longest song, and so I had to arrange it in such a way, so I would have imagined that one took me the longest to arrange. Though, if we want to, okay, something really funny, I started my song for King from Seven Deadly Sins. I started that 2 months before I actually got back to it to finish it. So I guess if you want to use that, I could say that was the longest song, because I like wrote the intro and never did anything past that until like 2 months later.
I don't know. Maybe like longest actually sitting down. So we'll go with the One Piece one, I guess. Cause,
I would say One Piece, just because there was a lot of guitar like riffage stuff in there, which takes the longest usually to record is recording the guitars. So if it's like pretty complicated, I would say in recent memory though, the hardest song I've mixed recently was my Zenitsu song. I almost didn't post it because I was so frustrated with the mix. But I'm happy I did, because it's actually one of my best performing songs in the last couple months. So it all worked out in the end. But yeah, I mean, I think what's tough is because I write music every week, I pretty much only have a couple days anyways. So I don't generally sit on something for longer than maybe 4 days at most. I usually will get it done within that time. So
oh, I'm just thinking about that One Piece one. I remember when you were getting ready to release that, and you made like I think you made a post about it asking, you guys want a 5-minute long like One Piece song? And I remember me thinking when I saw that, I'm like, 5-minute long One Piece song, I'm like, why would I say no to that?
Yeah, a lot of people were like, yeah, like a longer song, that's great. Of course, my analytics still show everyone's turned it off at like 4 minutes. But
why? The end is like the best part, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, though I think in total, I think the song just went over the 6-minute mark. I think it was around there. But yeah, no, you can't expect much from short attention spans. I mean, I have it too. If I'm watching just a video on YouTube, I usually don't watch the entire thing. I'll only watch as much as I need to. So I think for a lot of people, when they listen to my music especially, they will get to like the second chorus, and I think they either just try and skip to see if anything else changes, or they just turn it off. Which is kind of a bummer, but I just imagine that's kind of the case, because I think my general watch time is anywhere from 250 to 3 minutes. So they never get to the end.
They need to. I like the end where you kind of like slow it down. We're talking about that one in specific, like you kind of pull it back from all the heavy, I guess like the heavy guitars and stuff, and you kind of pull it back a little bit. And I kind of like that. I don't know. Yeah. I like when a song goes hard, but I like when it's like if it does that for so long, pulling it back a little bit, it kind of like changes things up a bit to kind of make it like, I like it. I just think it's a good touch, because you can't go all in all the time.
Yeah, and I said this on my breakdowns. Like dynamics is huge for me. Like I love having really, really, really big highs and like crazy lows in a song. Just like changing stuff to where it just keeps you guessing, or it's just things just keep changing, but it's still familiar, So like my Fire Force song, that outro was just like, if you like, I think someone, I don't know if it was your reaction or somebody else's, I can't remember whose it was, but someone was like, if you listen to that part of the song and didn't hear the parts before it, you would never have guessed that's the same song, because it's so different from the rest of the song.
I don't think that really was my reaction, but I think my reaction was more like in awe and without words at the end of the song, because it was just like I don't think I was ready for that one. I was like, let's sit down, let's react. Divide put out a new song, click play, and then like I was like, okay, I was not ready. I needed to mentally prepare for like the straight banger that song was.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that song was so much fun to make. It's my favorite song I've posted in a while, and I think it was just a fun challenge for me. Even though I wasn't rapping, I know a lot of people call me rap anyways. So I thought I would just do what I did on like that Deku, like I said, I think in my breakdown, that similar style that I did on the Shonen Jump cipher, where I was singing quickly, that kind of went back and forth between melody and like kind of breaking out of it just a little bit. And yeah, to my surprise, a lot of people really, really loved it. So I was really happy with that one.
Okay, go on. Because I do react, I'm gonna reference my reaction to that part in the Shonen Jump cipher. I don't know, have you seen that one? My reaction to the Shonen Jump cipher?
I'm sure I have, because I remember when that came out, it like blew up and everyone and their mom was reacting to it. And I remember I watched quite a few, so I probably did watch yours.
I wasn't expecting you to come in like that, and I think you came in right after Schwabity, I think. Yeah. And I remember I think I had to like take a minute, because I was like, he's coming in with like 100%. I think I made some sort of like 100% pun or something.
Yeah.
I had to have. But like my chair, like this is a really bad creaking chair. I said like something like parting my creaking chair, but like what? Because I was like, what is this? Like I didn't expect this to like, you're like coming in with 100% of me, and I was like, holy crap. Okay, hello Divide. Yeah. Hello. It's like
out of all the reactions I saw, like I always love to see that, because it's a bit into the song, and so it kind of just comes out of nowhere. And so some people's reactions were like kind of thrown, where they're like, they kind of take a step back for a second, they're just listening. And other people, like Kagi, like lost their mind, which was really funny. But yeah, I did not expect that to have the kind of reaction, or yeah, I guess reaction that it did, because that was like a surprisingly big thing for me. where a lot of people found me through that, which I don't even make that kind of music, you know? So it was kind of wild that a lot of people found me that way and stuck around. So
I think I found you from Fortnite music. I think it was JT did that one.
Oh, the
and
music video?
Yeah, you were the bus driver.
I was the bus
I think
driver.
that's why I found you, and I was like, I think it's funny because like you don't play Fortnite. At least
no.
Yeah.
Well, even JT at the end, I remember he says something like, even though I don't like Fortnite, he said that at the very end of the video in their little outro. But that was so much fun though. That was a lot of fun.
Because I remember I was listening to I was big into Fortnite during the early days, and I was searching up songs, and I think Nerd Out had something, and I listened to like it was like a rap battle with like a bunch of different like I guess streamers and stuff and content creators. I think it was the first one.
Oh, you're talking about the Fortnite rap battle,
Yeah.
one that has like 140 million views or something?
I don't know. This is the one. I think it's the one where Fable did the chorus.
Yeah.
And I heard I heard Fable, and I was like, this guy is dope. So I had to go check out his other stuff, and then I also searched up more of like Fortnite stuff, and I found in that rabbit hole I found JT Music's, because I mean obviously you search up Fortnite like rap song or something, like JT's gonna pop up, you know, at the top.
Yeah.
And I found that, and it's like JT Music. I'm like, okay, I used to listen to JT, and this Fable, and then this guy Divide. I was like, okay. And then I remember when like the chorus kicked in, and you're like the bus driver, and I was like, oh, this guy's got such an amazing voice. I gotta check out his stuff, and like that's how I started listening to you. It was just like
Well, first of all, thank you, but how funny to come to this moment now, but that you found me through the Fortnite music video. That's super funny.
But you're not known for Fortnite. That's kind of funny.
But yeah, not at all. No, I remember when that all started, I was camping, and Nick sends me a text. He's like, dude, check your DMs, because I didn't have any service. And I saw the DM where JT was asking about flying us out to do that music video. And I think at the time, I didn't even have 10,000 subs, I don't think, at the time. But I had worked with them previously on their Elon Musk song, and which they had a music video for, but I just sang the chorus for them on that one. But yeah, that whole trip was such a wild experience, because I've never been in an actual music video with people on set, you know, a cast, crew. It's just wild.
I think it's funny at the end, like your character in that, I guess, like because the whole thing about it was like, let me just take the lead, let the bus driver like go in and just kill everybody. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, let the bus driver get in on the action. And I thought that was funny. It was a good take on the game.
Yeah, I think Christian in his last line, he's like, this guy looks like he's got his shit together. Why don't I just drive the bus? And then I like jump out of the bus, and me and Nick rehearsed that he throws me the minigun. We had to do that so many times where I caught it perfectly. Yeah, dude, that was a ton of fun. What an experience.
Yeah, I think I've said this, like Fable, like I used to listen to Nerdcore like back when like JT was still like JT Machinima, and then I kind of like got out of listening to it, and then Fable, I mean, even though I found it from Nerd Out, I would say Fable was like the thing that sparked my getting back into the Nerdcore like genre, I guess, or like I guess really like, you know, I don't even know what you call it, just like Nerdcore, I could say genre, I guess. And
it's hard, isn't it? Because everyone has such specific styles.
Yeah.
It's almost like nerdy music.
Nerdy music, and I think it's interesting how many different artists I listen to, which is also another reason why it's so hard to react to everything, is because there's just so many people that release songs every weekend, and I'm just like, okay,
yeah,
I'll pick like maybe 4 or 5 of them to react to. I don't like even maybe just 3, because it's just a lot.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But that is really cool to hear about Nick, because I think, or Fable, because I think he inadvertently did a lot to the community. I think all the artists could agree that he's had a pretty big impact with his style and with just what he's like, his songwriting and stuff like that. I think it's had a lot of impact on everybody. And he kind of just brought something, I think, that was just different, you know? So hearing that's what kind of re-sparked your your ears. That's really cool.
Really sparked my love for Nerdcore, because I remember I think one of the first like Nerdcore, I guess it's songs I would have listened to would like JT Music, I guess JT's Modern Warfare 2 song, like way back. I don't know.
Wow.
I was like, I don't even know how old I was, like 10 or 11.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
It was a while ago, and I remember listening to that, and I was like, okay, and I just jammed out to that on repeat, playing Modern Warfare 2, and I listened to like other artists like Dan Bull as well. I think there was like a guy like Bryce. I don't think he does music anymore. Was it Team Headkick? I don't think they do music anymore. I don't see them putting anything else out, but like they were like the early ones, and then it was like a few like 5 or 6 years of nothing, like kind of barely checking out songs, and then it was like Fortnite, and then seeing that rap battle thing, Fable, and then like, okay, this guy's got like this interesting voice. He's got like kind of the aggressive, like kind of like raspy, I guess. I don't know how to describe that.
Yeah.
Like, and then.
Yeah.
And then I think it's like amazing that because of that I found like other amazing artists like you, and like literally anybody that I've ever reacted to. I don't want to like sit here and name because I'd be here for a while. But if I've reacted to them, then I don't think I've disliked any song I've reacted to. Either that means I have very low standards for music, or they're just all really good, and I'm gonna hope that they're just all really good.
Yeah.
Like I think they're all really good. I think that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So I think you kind of shared a few of your future projects. So I guess we're just gonna like skip past that, unless there's anything else you would like to share. If there's any other future projects you are working on, or if that's just like those are the ones you're working on.
I am terribly organized. I work on a weekly basis. So the fact that I'm working on next week's track right now is actually pretty impressive for me.
So just the Mirio and Rock Lee then?
Yeah. Which is an exclusive. I haven't announced that anywhere else, so anyone listening, you're welcome. But yeah, after that, I don't know yet. I like to try and do a cycle of like one My Hero song every 4 weeks, like one Naruto song every 4 weeks, because those are the ones that obviously perform well. They're popular. And I like to try and throw in different things, like I obviously I did Fire Force, Haikyuu, and like Rising of the Shield Hero and stuff like that. I know that I will eventually write a song for Parasite, because I watched that recently, which is fantastic if you haven't seen that. But
I'll have to check it out. I just finished Fire Force, which was really perfect timing for that song to drop too. So I was like,
oh, nice.
I was like, I finished the season, and a couple days later you dropped your Fire Force song, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I had some people comment that too. I thought that was really interesting.
Okay, so we're gonna move on from like, I guess like the talking about your channel. I ask everybody this, like top 5 anime. If you could choose a top 5 anime, I just like to see what people say with their top 5.
Well, let's see. Full Metal Alchemist is number 1. Brotherhood. Then it would probably be... Oh, man. It's, I guess I have to put My Hero. Demon Slayer could easily be my second one, but there's more My Hero content where Demon Slayer is still new. So I feel like I need to give it to what's been going longer. So I'd say My Hero, Demon Slayer, oh man, what would be my 4th? I was not prepared for this. Sorry. I'm like thinking of all the animes I've seen, which honestly isn't a lot because, like I said, I'm still fairly new to anime. Naruto, and then probably honestly probably Parasite. Yeah, because like I really enjoyed it. For it being only one season, it was fantastic. Like, I would watch it again. Like, it was just very, very, very good.
You share so two of the top 5 on my top 5. 2 of them. Not necessarily in the same spots, but I have Naruto as 1 and My Hero as 2 on my list.
Oh,
They're
really?
really close.
Yeah.
They're really close.
I almost want to put Naruto as 3 and Demon Slayer as 4, just because, again, there's more there. And Demon Slayer, I don't know. It's like, Demon Slayer to me is perfect. I love that anime so much, and I cannot wait for the movie in season 2 to come. But I'm gonna do that. So okay, here we go. Full Metal Brotherhood, My Hero Academia, Naruto, Demon Slayer, and Parasite. Boom.
5. My top 5 always changes with how I'm feeling, but I think Naruto and MHA are gonna always stay in there.
Yeah.
Naruto for the nostalgia, and like My Hero because it's My Hero. it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I have this is kind of a little bit of like a review from first, for literally every episode of this podcast so far, because people have heard it, but if they haven't, it goes Naruto, My Hero Academia, Fairy Tail, Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece. Literally a bunch of big ones, and the only one I'm caught up on is My Hero.
You'll say One Piece. I mean, you'll be doing that forever.
Oh yeah, One Piece is one of the ones that I just kind of take it one piece at a time. Is bad puns.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I take like maybe like an arc or something at a time, and then I'll like take a break, and I'll come back because it's so big. Like it's like I don't even know how, because I do watch dubs, so I don't know how many episodes. Like 600 or something, almost 700 episodes dub. That's still a lot. So.
Well, I was talking to Rustage the other day, and he was telling me how I need to watch One Piece, because if you've seen my One Piece song, that was done on research. And
really?
I didn't make the video. So there's some comments that are like, why is there crossover episodes in there? And I didn't know that, because again, I really wanted to write a song for it. I had this really cool idea for like a pirate themed song. So I had done a bunch of research, and I wrote my song, and I hired someone, and I thought the video came out great. I was like, oh, like all the scenes looked really good. But then I had people commenting, they're like, why is this character in there? This doesn't make sense. And so Rustage said that to me. He's like, really good song, but clearly your video did not know what was going on, because you didn't have a lot of good stuff from Luffy. And I was like, oh man, what the heck? And he's like, because it's his favorite anime. And so he was telling me that I just need to read it, because he's like, you can get through it so much faster if you just read the manga. So that is on my list, because I really want to. I don't like making songs about stuff that I don't have either that I've watched or that I've read. And I think that song actually was one of those moments where I kind of, because everything before that and after I've seen, and so I didn't want to do that again, because I had the pirate idea, but it just wasn't the same without being invested in something. And so, like, that's why for my Naruto songs, for example, I get people, like with my Gaara song, they're like, why are you focusing on his past? I haven't seen Shippuden. I'm still building up to it, you know?
That's one I forgot to react to.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I might just check it out, because I think I was during a weekend and I was feeling kind of like low energy, and I was like, okay, I don't know, I might just check it out just because I don't know, maybe I'll react to it. I don't know, but I'm like, there's a song that Divide put out that I totally didn't check out, and then you mentioned the Gaara one. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good one. Daddy Fat Snaps was on it, and he killed it. And again, to the point I was making was like, because I'm so new to anime, and I try and let people like know this if they ask me to do stuff. They're like, make a song for this, make a song for that. I haven't seen it. I'm only one man. I can only watch and read so much at a time. So I try and do my best. But yeah, so I don't even wait. I'm trying to remember the origin of how this started. What were we talking about?
Top 5 anime.
Top 5 anime. That's right. Yes, because you said One Piece, and then we went on this.
Yeah, the
little
One
trip.
Piece. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really do want to read it, and I intend to. I'm reading Black Clover right now because I haven't seen a lot of it. I saw enough to write the 2 songs that I wrote for Asta and for Yuno, but I get people asking to make songs for that a lot, so I really want to get more invested, but it's so hard trying to spend 20 minutes to watch one episode. When if you read the manga, you can get through an episode in like 5 minutes, if that, you know? And so I'm trying to like better utilize my time by taking up mangas instead of the shows. Because people always say that the mangas are better anyway, so I'm like, all right, I'll just give it a shot. So that's what I did, as I've started reading mangas instead.
I may have to do that with One Piece.
If Rustage, he suggested it, and he's like the anime overlord, so I would assume that he is probably onto something. Yeah. But when he said that to me, I was like, oh, okay. So I did my song for Bleach, and the irony in this is I started reading it. I got through what would be worth of 5 episodes in like 20 minutes. I wasn't trying to rush it either, you know? It's just on these episodes, they have to try and put enough to make it as long as it needs to be for an episode. So they'll like kind of add more dialogue and do all that kind of stuff. But for some funny reason, I got a VPN. Bleach is on American Netflix, and I was like, oh. So then I watched like 60 episodes of Bleach instead of reading it like I was supposed to do. I could have gone through 60 episodes worth of manga in probably like a day. But either way, it's also nice to watch. Like for me, I wouldn't want to read My Hero because I've seen everything on it so far, and I like waiting for the next episode. So yeah, I guess it depends on what it is. If it's like One Piece where I'm 20 years behind, I probably would rather read it.
Okay, so I have here that says because we're gonna kind of wrap this up a little bit and kind of finish the last talking point. Advice. I said, like, what advice would you give for people who would be interested in making like music, and maybe more specifically like nerdcore music?
Advice for them, like, as for, could you expand on that a little more?
Like if they're okay, let me see. I wasn't prepared for this expansion. Like if they're sitting here going, I like listening to these artists, every week. I want to do something like that. What should, like they're thinking like, where should I start? Like what should I start? Like let's say they go out and they buy, a decent microphone. They get themselves like a good like DAW, and they're ready to go. What advice would you give? I guess maybe for like producing, like I guess like the instrumental, or if they, I guess not even that, because they could use other beats or whatever. Like maybe for like, I don't know. This is hard. You asked me to expand on it, and I'm not prepared. I was prepared, and then I realized I wasn't.
I think. Well, because the initial question is, what advice would you have for someone that wants to make music for nerdcore? I think that there's so much to unpack there, because it depends. Are you talking about like YouTube? Are you talking about writing music? Are you talking about like, you know what I mean? Like you could really break that open. So if you're talking about someone that just wants to write music about nerdcore, and they have the equipment and they're ready to go, what advice I would give them is, oh man, I want to put this as simple as possible because I feel like I could talk about this for a long time. So I would say trying to think of how to make this not too long. This is going to sound so cliche. Be yourself, and like emulate to a certain degree. I think everyone that gets into nerdcore has a reason, and it's probably an artist that they listen to. I think being inspired by that is fine, but really try and develop a sound for yourself, and don't force it. Just write music and see what happens. And I would say the biggest thing is delivery. Being able to deliver, and I mean lyrics, obviously, like try and write good lyrics, but like being able to have delivery and energy is going to take you a lot further, I think, than anything else. I think when you look at the most successful people, They are perfect at that stuff. That's why people love Fable, for example. He will sit there on a line to make sure the delivery and the energy is perfect. Or you look at Daddy Fat Snaps. He has the same ability. Just to give two examples. Everyone obviously that does nerdcore successfully is able to achieve this because they're successful. I just think that when it comes to music and being able to have, the biggest thing you want to have is some sort of impact. If it's like high energy or emotional or whatever, you need to have the impact. And I think that it's a mark that can often be missed by a lot of smaller people that are just starting, is they'll just put a bunch of references down and just say them. And there's nothing, like, there's no emotion. It's not punching, you know? And I think if for anybody, like, really study songwriting, like, study what you love about artists, try and break that open and understand it and just work on your craft constantly. Because I can tell you right now, you write a song, a year later you're going to think that song was trash, and a year later you're going to think that song was trash. And so you're always going to get better. So just try and constantly be better by studying, and just never get tired, or not tired. You can get tired if you want, but never get complacent. Never think you have it, because you don't. You have to constantly be working. And that's a mindset Nick and I, Fable and I, both talk about all the time. Like, me and him are collectively never satisfied with what we do. And it's what drives us and makes us better every day at what we do, is just constantly, if it's mixing, if it's songwriting, whatever, just trying to be the best. And I know that's kind of a heavy answer, I think, for a lot of people that are wanting to start, but you have to, I guess, understand the scope of what it depends on what your goals are. If you're just wanting to write music, then do whatever you want to do that makes you happy. But if you really want to, like, go into it and, like, try and have some part of the community and have an impact, like, you really have to bring your A game and just constantly try and be better, and just be yourself, be original by being yourself. And sorry, that was a very heavy answer, but yeah, I would say that is honestly what has gotten Nick and I keep saying that because we talk all the time, and we have since we were in high school. So we have been on this journey together the entire time, and I think that's what pushes us. So that would be my experience of an answer.
That's a great answer to add to, like, you know, instead of just saying, oh, obviously, like, be on time, be on beat, you know, work, like, do it different, like, you know, don't have the same, like, you know, I guess, like, end rhymes, maybe, like, you know, like, a lot of the stuff that I guess, like, Schwubbity says in his Schwub analysis, like, you know, he says, like, stuff about, like, being on time and changing up your flow and messing around with, like, multi and inner rhymes and stuff like that. So, like, it's kind of nice how you added, like, an additional, like, you know, on top of that, putting in, like, your emotions and other stuff like that. And
well, I think, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
But, like, to kind of, like, I lost my thought.
I had a feeling I might have done that.
But to, like, take all of that foundation and then add, like, you know, find, like, you know, your own, I guess, sound from that. Yeah. I think that's what you were trying to say with that.
Yeah.
Like, find your own sound and, like, mess around with different, like, deliveries for, you know, obviously certain characters or certain topics require different maybe deliveries than others would.
Yeah, like, if you're doing a song on someone like Shigaraki, you're probably not going to be yelling the whole time. He's a very calm, collected person. If you're doing a song on someone like All Might, you're probably going to sound a bit, you know, what up? And it's not to be character-y, but it's to just have, because when I say delivery as well, it's making people believe what you're saying. Not just saying, I'm a badass and I got a lot of strength, but, like, saying it like you fucking mean it, you know? And that's why Nick does it so well and people love him so much, is because when he says what he says, he fucking means it, you know? But I think with what you were saying about with the Schwab analysis stuff, those are all very, very specific criticisms to rap. So I think it just depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do rap, of course you have to rap on time. I mean, I feel like that would be kind of obvious. If you're young and you don't realize it, then you probably need to just keep practicing. But when it comes to like inner rhymes and like, I mean, like that's just rap stuff. So I think it's very specific to that. But if you were to ask me a rap question, which I don't rap, it would probably be, I guess, something along those lines with someone as inexperienced as me. But yeah, I just think that songwriting is something that is not easy, and you shouldn't be lazy with it. You can always make something better. And I'm telling you, that is like a very frustrating mindset to have, because you'll never be satisfied, but you will continuously get better and you'll have proof for it. And it's such an amazing thing to look back on. When I listen to my songs from a year ago, some people love them, but I listen to it and I'm like, man, I could have done that so much better I could have done that line so much better. I could have done this better, mixing better, whatever, you know. That's kind of one of the fun things about doing it every week, is you get to see your growth over time. And I think, yeah, if you're just starting as well, is just never be complacent and constantly push yourself as much as you possibly can to get better, because you want to be good at what you do, right? So I would hope whoever it is.
Yeah, I know that I think a couple of people who watch my channel are saying they want to get into it, so that was kind of that question. But yeah, I guess, yeah, rapping is more of like the Schwab analysis, but like the singing and everything is a little different.
Yeah, well, and I think for me as well, to cap what I was saying off again, is just songwriting, because like rap is still a song, despite everyone's like for me, they're like, I really love your All Might rap. It's not even close to rap, but people call it rap because it's nerdcore, I guess. But just as a song, looking at it as a complete song, learning and getting better at just doing that. Like, yeah, like if you were rapping, don't use the same exact rhyme scheme for, I don't know, verse 1, 2, and 3. I mean, that would probably get kind of boring, I would imagine. So.
All right. I think we're just gonna wrap this one up. It's like we're doing good. Oh wow, it's like. Oh, yeah, we hit that 1 hour, a little over an hour mark. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. I try to keep them around an hour, not too long. But I usually kind of wrap it up by giving my guests like a section to plug. Not that you, like, I don't know, you might need it, but I'll still give it to you anyway. You can let anyone watching, like, know where they can find you, for like the couple people that don't know who you are. There might be someone coming that goes, I don't know who Divide Music is, but they sound dope. So.
Oh, thank you, person. So if you want to find me, you can go on to the YouTube machine and type in Divide Music, and you will find me there, probably with an All Might track at the top, because it's my most viewed song. So you'll probably see that first. But yes, Divide Music. And if you want to follow me anywhere, like on Instagram or Twitter, it's at Music Divide. So.
Yeah, and I'll post the links too, as well. I'll probably to like everything.
Well, thank you.
Probably to like Spotify and everything. Like I'm really thorough when it comes to links, because I'm like, if they like, I don't want anybody to be like, hey, what's this person's, Spotify? I'm like, I want it to be there in the description. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would be easier. If you want to like listen to me right now, follow the link in the description that goes straight to my Spotify.
But yeah, thank you so much, Divide. I'm just gonna say Divide for short, for being on my podcast. It's been an honor having you on, and just hearing about your channel and inspirations and your like favorite animes and stuff like that. It was kind of a fun like hour.
Yeah, no, dude, thank you. When I saw you post it, I was like, oh, that'd be fun. I really like you and your reactions and stuff, so I thought it'd be really fun, and it was. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's been fun. All right, until next time, everyone. I hope you all are having a fun, safe, and amazing day. And yeah, we'll see you next week for next episode. Bye, everyone.